Okay, so yeah, good morning everyone. Welcome to the study group session. This is like the revision but it is not a training that I go through all the topics again. No, it is not a way. Mainly I just pick some of the maybe some of the challenges that people often face. Okay, when preparing for the exam, and also I will also selected some of the topics that have you can see on the schedule for June here. Um, Things like the agile. Next session we'll be talking about the agile. And then next week we'll mainly looking at the procurement management and the risk management process. And yeah, so I have listed down these are the key topic we'll cover. So it is not like going through the class again, like going through the theory. No, okay, I think that one you can read out on your own. You probably look at the last week of June, 23rd and 25th of June. I kind of putting Q&A. Hopefully you got any question you can ask me. But what I can tell you is that there are many, okay, actually a lot of our course participants going through the exam in June, which I think is probably good to get most of you prepared, especially in the week of the third week of June, and hope that there are probably more and more people getting certified. Okay, hopefully that through this session it will help you. And then if any of you who pass the exam, you would like to share your learning with the rest, okay, of your fellow colleagues or the fellow participant here, feel free to let me know. Okay, so on the 23rd and 25th, I don't have a fixed agenda yet, but hopefully you're getting some of the lessons learned from the recent participant and then share with everyone. Right. So this is the plan. So by the way, the last day of the to take the exam based on the current syllabus again, I mean just emphasize is on the 8th of July. Right. Now, this is today's agenda. Mainly, there are three main things to go through. How to analyze the exam question, and then having said that, then how do I pick an answer? When I say pick an answer, it doesn't really mean that pick the correct answer. Okay, it's more like a guideline for you. If you're having a doubt and like they all looks like the correct answer, so how to pick an answer? So there's some guidelines for you, at least to help you to make a judgment. Okay, so anyway, that is the one I've gone through in the class before, but I think maybe it's important to highlight again. And then the third point, actually, I think this probably is quite good for you. And I will see that maybe in the future session, like 2 weeks later, I may repeat some of this again, especially these are lessons learned from the PMP exam candidates. Okay, so all this information I'm sharing with you today, I will share with you in the WhatsApp group. Okay, so towards the end, you got any question, please let me know. So let's look at the first one, how to analyze the exam question. But mainly, before I start doing the exam question, I hope that you still remember that process group, practice guide, the concept there, the framework. Okay, the structure is that there are 5 process group, and then there are 10 knowledge area. And out of this 10 knowledge area, like in the matrix in the table, you got a 49 PM processes. Okay, and we actually use a Rita's process card. Okay, the exercise I ask you to do every day, you should do it every day, at least like twice a day. That's what I've done many years ago when prepared for my PMP exam, and that really helped me. So by having going through this, it will help you to understand about the process, help you to understand about certain terms that you, when you read the book, it'll be easier for you, and especially when you are trying to, you know, no, we don't want people to try to memorize things, but then by going through this, it helps to form some kind of logical structure, okay, in your mind. So you got a mental map of what is for you to know about the structure in that 5 process group. Okay, so this is process group is very much quite relate to the brand-driven approach. And on this Thursday, I'm going to talk about the change-driven approach, which is agile, right? So having this in mind, it'll help you to deal with some of this situational question easier as well, right? So this is kind of a quick reminder for you to do the process group practice guide. Basically, your book in the Rita's book is also structured in this manner, the 5 process group and the 10 different knowledge area. And let me show you some of the questions that I want to um, go through, like helping you to analyze or help to guide you through about how to analyze a certain question. It is quite difficult to go through like every type. There isn't any fixed type. So the main thing about this PMP exam actually require us, all the candidates, to have some kind of analytic skills. So it is main thing is about probably what you need to practice also some kind of a speed reading, okay, to read it fast. Otherwise you can analyze but then it take up some time. Then there's going to be a problem. Okay, so it's not just about a test to analyze and then to look at the question, understand what it's asking, but also to look at kind of like speed of making a decision. So I kind of going through a few questions over here from the fast track exam simulation, and this is and you can actually note down the question ID. So you know that the system got a question ID for every question, the unique ID, and you don't have to like copy the whole question to me, but you can just give me the ID and you just ask me, okay, help you to analyze, okay. But there's a better way of helping to analyze. I will maybe share with you later, okay. So this is the question. A PM is assigned to a project to build a new apartment building, okay, and this apartment building will be used to house athletes during the international competition. So just imagine that we're having this Olympics, and Olympics we have this Olympic village. This Olympic village are mainly the accommodation, okay, for the athletes to come and stay during the whole tournament, the competition, right? So mainly this is building a new apartment for international competition, and then there are 15 other residents that built across the city on various college and the university campus. So what should this project be managed on? So how should it be managed? And I just straight away tell you the answer, okay, for this. Right? The answer is B. And let me see, the correct answer is B here. So mainly this is about, this is how the sample answer telling us about. I got a different explanation for you. Okay, later I'll share with you shortly. So what he's saying is that programs are a group of related projects, and these resident projects are related, and it can be and will need to have some uniformity in the bill, so there are benefits to gain in the procurement of a raw material and finished good due to volume discount, for example. So it doesn't really, from what I see, it doesn't really give you a very, like, how do I know this is a program? Okay, what leads me to think about that direction? Okay, even though when I look at the answer, then I know about this. So what does the question really asking from that, right? So this is how I would kind of maybe guide you through. So first of all, okay, for this, what it says that there are a lot of other residence building. So meaning that there are residence being built. Is saying that being built. So meaning that it is not yet completed, it is in progress or maybe about to start. So these residences are more like a hostel, okay, for the various college and the university campus. So what he says is that we are assigned to a project to build apartment for the some event, and then at the same time there are a lot of other residents or the hostels, okay, being built around the city. So what they say that how should this project be managed? And then you can see that there are actually many projects, okay, and if you read through the options here, okay, you will realize that it is somewhat giving you an idea about project, program, and portfolio. Okay, because sometimes when you read the question, you may not have a clue of what it's trying to drive us, okay, or trying to direct us to what direction. Okay, but if you read the answer, so it's important to actually not just understand the question, but also read the answer. You read the answer, you look at this. The project should be managed as a program, and when I say the another option is that the project should be managed as a portfolio, right? And the project should be managed as individual projects, right? This project and other projects related to the competition should be managed together as a program. So now you think about you read through the option, And then it gives you an idea about, oh, okay, it's probably something to do with understanding about the project, program, and portfolio. Okay, so this is what the key thing. When you read the options, sometimes it's able to give you some direction, okay, about what are the right things. Maybe your direction of your thoughts you should go towards in that form. Okay, so hopefully this give you an idea, okay, about a hint, right? So in this question, all the options seems to be the correct answer if you look only by the definition, correct? So what it says that all the if you look at the A, B, C, D, they're all the right statement, okay? But what really the question asking, what the question is really asking, how does this project, how should the PM manage this? Okay, how should this project be managed? So if you're looking at the A, B, C, D, they are correct statement, but does it really answer the question? Okay, so this is what I hope that it give you an idea, because you get to see question like this, okay? And sometimes if you don't, you try to look at the two things as separately, but it may confuse you further. Okay, so that means, right, in the context of the situation. So I see that I highlighted this, right, in the context of the question, right, building apartment, okay, for international event, and also there's some similar project that we want to do. So what's the best thing to do? This is what the question really asking, right? So if you're looking at the large A, is that if you are managing a larger program like Olympic game, then this should be the answer. Okay, but not this time. Okay, because B is more appropriate, because we are looking at how to best manage all the residents apartment construction, that the best coordinated, okay, in the schedule and the resource management, right? And then C, a question is not optimized about return from investment. Okay, so remember C is about portfolio, right? Are they having the same strategic objective? They are not, right? So objective for the university hostel is different from the objective of this apartment for the competition, right? And D, this is only consider each project is managed in isolation. So what it say here is that D probably is not the right one, because you say that what should this project be managed if they're interconnected, right? In some way. All right, so this gives you kind of like a direction, okay, and hopefully they're able to pick the right answer here. Now the next question here, this also in the topic of chapter 3, okay, the PM foundation. Right, the PMO has decided to use an agile approach, okay, to reprogram security feature in a health record program, right, so that we can comply with the new regulation that will be phased in over a year-long period, okay, new regulation that will phase in. So under what conditions should the PMO have decided that agile was an acceptable approach? So the answer for this is C, okay, and but you can just uh, kind of look at mark this question and go to the fast track and try to look at the question. Quite try to look at the sample answer here, okay. But what I am trying to show you here is that explanation given in the answer, okay, here is clear. There's a statement that option B makes it incorrect. Okay, what's wrong with B? Actually, this is not the right answer. I just kind of like someone click this. Okay. Um, Now, mainly what you say that why agile is an acceptable approach. If you look at B, using agile means that the team can change a feature that being developed throughout the project during any iteration to comply with the regulation. So there's a little bit of things that's not quite right. It's quite easy to make mistake. So normally when you try to look at this question, this answer here, we would probably pick B and probably pick C. Okay, and then when you look at these two, what is actually the a better answer of this? So when you try to analyze, try to narrow down the option, when you try to look at each of these option, maybe it's a time to look at is there any main differences, okay, that make certain statement is not correct, right? You see this, okay? What it's saying is that what it's saying is that the it's true that we can change the feature developed through the project, okay, but then it's not during any iteration. We can't change it in the iteration. That's not right. And we know that iteration is when you have fixed the sprint backlog in the iteration, we cannot change. Okay, so this little statement that make These little words that make this statement is not correct. Okay, so when you're looking at the sprint backlog, it has been determined at the start, and this backlog um, item to be done are fixed within the iteration. Okay, because then we left only C. C is the best that describe the benefit of using Agile, right? So the time between each iteration is believed to allow the recorded feature to be continuous delivered with the Agile team and method and within the time horizon. Okay, so this question here is to helping showing this question is to help you to 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 let you know about um, you can narrow down to some options, and then when it come to which option you probably, if both of them seem to be correct, and you try to look at is there any certain statement that make it not quite right. Okay, so this could be the there's the answer, right? Now the next one, the charter for a new project includes the approval using the hybrid approach. Okay, so the expected benefit, and then the name of the sponsor and a part-time PM, PO, and a PM. Okay, so all this has been added for the charter, right? So what will the product value be communicated to the team? And then you look at the ABCD option, right? So bear in mind this is um, using a hybrid approach, and what will the product value be communicated to the team? So is it what I like someone that chose it is C, okay, but the answer is not C. Answer is D over here, right? The PO using a backlog list. So why? Well, how will the PO, the product value, be communicated to the team? The PO roles is was the PO role works on the agile team. In this hybrid approach, the PO will be part-time with the team. So the PO prioritize PO. We know that it prioritize the backlog, okay, and work with the team to assign feature in each iteration. And the PO also provide detailed requirement for each backlog, explain how you deliver a value to the stakeholder. So stakeholder give the feedback on the product increment during the review. So mainly these are uh, the the process of dealing with the in the change-driven approach. Okay, so I hope you still remember the change-driven approach, right? So that's the other explanation here. From me, the PO is the main responsible person um, to rank and prioritize the project requirement. Okay, remember we sometimes call it a user story. Okay, the exam question will give you uh, the name called user story as well. So this user story in the product backlog are arranged and ranked by business value. Okay, so the best answer come to this is actually D, right? The one they're dealing with, which of this aspect actually telling us about the value. Remember, it's about asking about product value, right? So using WBS, this is only talking about work, okay? And backlog list is talking about the prioritize requirement, okay? And then how about getting stakeholder to look at iteration review? What is it, iteration review here? These are mainly looking at acceptance, okay? Right. And then from a chart, the charter, getting the project charter only provides the benefit and value of the project, not the individual requirement, right? So project charter doesn't, it just tells you about why we need to have that product. Okay, talking about the benefits of having this project, right? So that's how you should analyze, because again, all of this, it could be quite similar. Okay. Now let's look at the chapter 4. I think chapter 4 is can't remember. Is there something deal with the integration management? I think, right? So for this question, a PM has taken over a project. You've taken over a project, okay, during planning. So know where we are, right? This is during the planning stage, and discovered 6 individuals have signed the project charter. 6 people signed the project charter. One, two, three, four, five, six. It's quite a lot of people, right? So who signed the charter? And we know that 6 people, it didn't tell us directly, but these are the one who actually our sponsor, right? Can we have more than one project sponsor? Yes. Okay. So which of the following should be most concerned for the PM? So in that case, the answer to this is, oh, okay, the answer is D. Didn't I put it here? Okay. Spend more time on the configuration management, but actually most people will tend to be thinking about A. Okay. Because they talk about getting a single project sponsor, right? So most of them will think about that. Um, and in fact, between A and D, okay. So look at A. Having only one sponsor is better than six. Okay, that's for sure, right? It's better to have one vision rather than six vision. More to sponsor, more direction, and more confusion. Okay, but then you're looking at for this, which one we should be more concerned for the PM. So D is saying that okay, now there are six different sponsors, and in fact, what we need to do is we may need to have to deal with six different priority. So in that case, dealing with six different priority, there could be a lot of changes that coming. Okay, so probably what we are more concerned about is that the changes in the project. Okay, if how to deal with changes in project is you go through the configuration management. Okay, so this is um, the way that we analyze. Okay, because getting a single project sponsor, whether we can change it or probably is something that this is the best to do, but what will be the effect? What is actually asking here is that what could be the potential effect, okay, of
Ahora,
this situation,
turun sa info
right?
ko dyan.
Right. So what should be the potential situation? So this is
Info ko dyan.
sorry, this is sorry, anyone you got question? Sorry, let me just right. So this is um the situation of six sponsor, and probably what we need to be more aware of are the changes, okay, that come with these six different sponsors. So that's why D is the answer here, right? Project team is working on developing a new consumer product that will include the use of hologram, okay, and then so this is a new product, right? So due to the uncertainty of this hologram demand in the market, the team is using a hybrid approach. So when will the project be considered complete? Okay, so the market is not ready, and then the team is decided to use an agile, okay, approach. So when will the project be considered complete? That is the question, right? The answer is not C. Okay, this is actually the tricky answer, right? The question is quite easy to understand. Okay. In fact, is B the answer? As these are the activities that we'll do in closing the process. Okay, this option explain the closing project more accurately compared to the others, right? The question asking when the project considered complete. Okay, so what we need to do, okay, at the completion of the project, right? And the rest, I think when the final retrospective is done, knowledge base updated, the hologram product turned into manufacturing and sales, and this actually not really um, because if it could end up something like there will be maybe an ongoing, okay, rather than the end of a project. Okay, so we try to separate this thing, right? The the sellability, the manufacturability, and also the project ending. Say so many about the project end is that when all the legal, administrative effort are completed. So that's actually getting the probably is the most close, okay, to what um, explaining about the closing of the project, right? Okay. Now this question here, a manager has taken over a project where deadline have been missed significant rework require, and team members blame each other, okay, for the issue. So what should the PM approach the team? Okay, so they blame each other. So they got people problem, they got the deadline schedule problem, and also they got some of this scope kind of keep on reworking. Okay. A is to use a charisma to energize and encourage the team, and then B is to encourage and assist them to solve their own issue. C, they use their own expertise to guide the team, and D is advise and make recommendation, okay, to the team, right? The answer for this is C. Okay, and okay, it's clear that someone needs to take control of this situation and use their own expertise to guide the team in order to get the team back on track, okay, to meet the project objectives. Since the idea on the project is to form a high-performing team, a charismatic style seldom has a lasting result, okay, without constant input and availability of the leader. So you're not likely to be asked to name this leadership style on the exam, but you'll be expected to know which to use based on the certain given scenario. Okay, sorry, let me just. Yeah.
So this one is applicable for both hybrid and also typical project. This one is or agile. I mean
agile.
this.
No, this okay. This is okay. Is applicable to both the traditional or hybrid or the agile approach. Okay. Main thing here is more about the servant leadership. Okay. So when I say about the leadership, the servant leadership is whichever the development approach they are the same. Okay, the same way of dealing with the team and try to develop the team. Okay, same way regardless. But if you're talking about the roles and responsibility, then we got to be careful, right? Roles and responsibility is different. For example, right, in the agile approach, the team will have to make decision. The team will decide what they do. The team will decide on the iteration backlog. Okay, the PO will do the prioritization. So it's not the PM will tell them what to do. But in the traditional approach, the role of the PM is also to guide the team to execute the work. Okay, so there are two different things. So the leadership approach is how the project manager or the agile coach, okay, will help the team to perform, okay, during the project. So waterfall or plan driven or agile doesn't matter, okay, right? But role is different. Okay, role is which development approach we have a different role. Okay, right? So to answer your question, right, it's the same. Okay, for any whether the plan driven or not, right? And that's my explanation. Thanks for the question. Okay, so that's my explanation here. This question maybe does not seems to be the best answer. In fact, sometimes you get to see this. So we need to start eliminating this option that don't seems to be correct. Okay, so let's look at A and B. Use charismatic and encourage and assist them to solve problems. So A and B doesn't really help to solve the problem, right? And then D does not give any uh, D does not give any idea how to solve the problem. And then what advice recommended? So the option, so we left only C. So mainly this is, actually I can't find any good answer there. Okay, but you probably try to find out which is the best out of this few. Okay, so in fact there isn't any like so-called the best answer, but you will probably looking at the rest, right? Maybe you just emerge, okay, which is a possible answer from that. Right? So option C is aligned to the concept of empowering the team to solve their problem collectively, right? So this is um, what it is. So I'm trying to, what's the learning of this question like this is sometimes the best answer in our mind. We can't find any of them. Okay. And then what can we do? You go by eliminating, right? And slowly, one at a time, but which one really help to solve a problem? You try to look in details in all these A, B, C, D, right? which one will help to solve the problem. And you're able to, if you go through this a few times, multiple times on this question, you will, I believe that you always come to C. Okay, right? Okay. So try to eliminate and then I'll try to look at which approach will solve the problem. Okay. And then if you ask me that what if we change one option to be another answer, I can't really answer, I can't really tell you. Okay. So it could be right, it could be wrong because it's not one of the option. So when you try to answer a question like this, right, don't try to think about what if. Oh, there's no what if, there's only A, B, C, and D. That's all. Okay, so there isn't any other option. So just restrict to focusing on these four and don't think about any other, right? I got, I think probably a few more here to go. Okay, Agile team is writing a software application. Oh, okay, this I think this is the last question. Um, okay. Anyway, this is you can go and just read. I'm not going to go into more detail on this, but this is just to show you that there's some kind of what you call the matching question. Okay, and will you get to see most of this matching question? Yes, you get to see. I don't know how many of them, but is some of them say that I only see two questions. Some maybe see uh, a few questions. Okay, but it's not as many that we're going to see. But recently also there's a candidate mentioned that he has seen quite a few of these some kind of a multiple choice, but it's a multi-selection of multiple choice, meaning it's not just A, B, C, D with one answer, but it could be A all the way to G or H, and then you need to pick two or pick three correct answer. Okay, so those are the difficult a tricky one, okay, a difficult one because let's say you given six option and then you're supposed to choose two, right? You get one correct, you get the other one not correct, and then you still consider as a wrong, okay, to answer this question. So you must get, if we ask you to select two or select three, you must get the two or three correct, okay, in order to score a point, okay, for the answer. I mean for the question, right? So this is another type of question you may see. Basically, what you have is that they, on this left-hand side, they given the four different um, technique, and then you're supposed to do the matching. So kind of drag and drop. Okay, you drag this and then you drop this, right? Drag and drop. So kind of drag and drop and then do the matching. Okay, so that is the question you get to see, right? So I hope that that gives you, and anyway, I'm going to share with you these slides. Okay, so and that's about helping, hopefully going through some thoughts for you to help you to guide. These are things to guide your thinking, okay, about understanding the question. And sometimes it's not just about understand the question, it's also about understand the option and compare which one is the best. Okay, and also one of the learning from here is that sometimes you may not know what the question trying to ask you, okay, but you just go on and read the answer, and hopefully by reading and for me I have this encounter as well. Okay, read the answer and then I found that I think that's what really the question asking. So from there it gives you some idea about what the question is really asking. Okay, and I'm supposed to show you the other slide about the guidelines to, where's my slide? Oh, okay, this one. The guide to pick an answer, right? The guide to pick an answer. Not this. Sorry, it's just hold on the system. Okay, how to pick an answer? How to pick a correct answer? This is more like this is more like it's a guideline. Okay, it is not the formula to pick the correct answer. Okay, it's a guideline. So meaning that if you're having some problem with, Like earlier, I showed you some of this question, like, wow, which is the one, right? Well, A, B, C, D, they all look like correct one. So, which one? Okay, so these are the few things, and let me just go through each one. Okay, so assume proper PM was done. So what does it mean? Assume proper project management was done, meaning that you've gone through a proper initiating, you have a charter, you've gone through a proper project planning, you have a PM plan with a realistic baseline for scope, schedule, and cost, and then with all the necessary plan in place, right? Remember the 10 knowledge area, right? So all other knowledge area, there's a management plan. So assuming that we have planned for this one, assuming that you have gone through a proper change control process, you got a change control committee or change control board in place to review all the changes, right? And then towards the end, when you're doing closing, you're going through a proper acceptance of deliverable, and you're going through a proper lessons. These are the actually the other proper project management was done. Okay, so assume proper PM was done. So how does it help us in answering question? If the question telling us about there's some problem with the scope, so probably the best thing to do is to look at the scope management plan, how to deal with this, right? If the question is dealing with I got a lot of risks that happen, and then a lot of changes happen. So what should we do, right? Probably the answer should be looking at the risk management plan, and also how to deal with the change control, right? So you got a change control management plan as well. Okay, so this is how what I mean by the assume proper PM was done. So unless this is by assumption, so unless the question telling you that the project was started without a proper charter, and the project was quickly start without having the PM plan approved, and then you know that okay, there's some problem with the way that we do project management. Okay, no charter, no proper plan, and then we start work. So what can happen? Okay, so these are things that are helping you to kind of like guide yourself, and know where you are in the story. Know where we are in the story. Is There are some assumption that we make. For example, in the contract situation, right? Contract, there's a buyer and seller, right? So in the scenario, in the scenario of an exam question, we always assume we are the buyer, okay, not the seller. So if the question doesn't tell us anything, there's some assumption that we make. Okay, we are the buyer, we are the project manager, or we are the project management team, and also in the organization, we are the matrix organization, right? So these are the few things. And then another thing is um, s- understand sometimes understand that the question it may ask you what you need to do, and then you will need to know that where are we in the whole story here. Are we in the planning process, or are we completed planning already? We are in execution, okay? Or are we just at the initiating stage? Because what we do in these different stages, there are different things. Okay, there are different way of working. So, for example, we keep trying to get the scope to agree with all the stakeholder, and we are currently in planning. So in planning is quite remember that we go through the many iteration of planning. So there isn't any things like we need to have a change request um, to get this stakeholder requirement on changes in scope. No need, because if the plan has not been approved, there's no need for the change request, but we need to find out more requirement from the stakeholder. Right? So this thing again could be quite different if we are dealing with, let's say, in execution or in monitor control, right? Because execution or monitor control, the plan has been approved, and if any scope requirement keep on changing, and then we need to go through a proper change control procedure. So change request is required, okay, in that stage, right? So know where we are. And also important thing is, I hope they still remember in the integration management, when you're dealing with a potential change, remember the four stages that we need to go through. The first one is, if the potential change come, is there the way that, first thing is that how much do we understand about impact of the project? Okay, impact on the of this change on the project. So evaluate the change. Okay, evaluate the impact of the change is number one step. And then after you know the impact, then the second stage is you will try to look for the options to deal with the change, right? And then when you identify option, then the third stage is you will try to get the internal buy-in. You try to get approval from a change control board. That's internal buy-in, internal approval. And then the fourth stage is you going through the last one is to get the buy-in from external customer, right? So number one, evaluate impact. Number two, identify option. Number three, get internal buy-in. And number four is getting the external buy-in. So these are the stage of the dealing with the changes. So have we evaluated the impact? If yes, then the next step to do is to look for option. If you're done with option, then the next step is to get the internal approval before we go into external agreement, right? So know where we are in the story, okay, to be clear. So that means understand the scenario to be quite clear, okay, where we are. And then the next few points here, these are mainly dealing with um, some kind of a scenario basis, okay, of dealing with a problem, right? So for example, there's one that deal with the immediate problem. Okay, if any option that dealing with the immediate problem, right, the urgent thing we must deal with now, okay, and then that should be the option. And then the other one is a deal with the root cause. Okay, root cause, but just be careful. Sometimes we deal with the immediate problem, the urgent one you got to fix. It may not deal with the root cause. Okay, but sometimes it is. Okay, but not always. So it's quite be careful about what the question asking, okay? And also be aware of what the situation present to you. If the situation presented to you something that there's root cause that create all this problem, but then there's one very urgent thing we have to deal with. So dealing with root cause should be the answer or dealing with immediate problem, right? It should be dealing with immediate problem, right? So for example, right, if the question is asking, if the question is saying that there's a fire destroy the warehouse, okay, there's a fire breakout in the warehouse, okay, the fire currently break out in the warehouse, still fire. So what is the best thing the PM should do? A is to buy fire insurance. B is to put out the fire, right? C is to ask for the change request, okay? And D is to move your warehouse, right? So which one is that, right? In fact, there's fire. The first thing to do is not to think about moving away and not to think about buying insurance, right? Is to really to put out the fire, okay? And that is to save the situation at the moment, right? So that's an immediate problem. It's not dealing with the root cause. But if the question asking you, the fire destroyed the warehouse, and then if you look back, what we should have done to minimize the impact of this incident. Okay, so fire destroy warehouse. What we should have done, okay, to minimize the impact. Actually, this is more to deal with what we should think about the root cause, okay, of this, right? So is there something dealing with maybe buy the insurance, or maybe even, okay, buying insurance better, or maybe even like um move the warehouse away from this fire hazard um environment. Okay, so maybe moving away is even a better, okay, right, rather than the buy insurance. Buy insurance, the only protection for us is if we're able to compensate on the financial term, right? Okay, but the fire may still happen, but it just will minimize the impact on the financial. Okay, so you need to think about aware of this different option and how to analyze this, right? So bear in mind, deal with the immediate problem may not necessarily deal with the root cause, right, and vice versa. It depends on what the question is asking, right? And then of course the third one, the one, two, three, four, five, the fifth, okay, here is that you pick the one that solve the problem the most effective way with the lowest risk. Basically, is that something that is actually the most having the biggest impact, okay, a positive impact, and having the lowest negative risk, right? So that should be the option. So sometimes you may encounter all of them are actually solving the problem, but which one, okay, is probably you think is the best way to solve the problem. And then last one here, pick the one that's earliest. I would say that this may be kind of like maybe related to the immediate problem, okay, or not. But basically this the earliest meaning that your first thing to do. Okay, what's the first action? First thing to do, right? So what's the first thing you need to do? And that also depends on the question asking. Right? So hopefully these few guidelines helping you to able to analyze already pick a correct answer. If you ask me, is there like a order for which one I should use first? I don't know. Okay, really, I only will know when I read the answer, or I will read the answer, then I will decide which guideline I will use. Okay, so this has been in my uh with me. Okay, it like kind of into my mind already, and then if you find it difficult to remember this, I think just forget about this, okay? But practice to analyze your question, okay? And the more that you try to analyze a question, hopefully you kind of guide you towards having your own guiding principle in finding out a certain what's the right answer, okay? Or pick an answer for that, okay? So far, any question from you before I move on? Okay, then I have last sections of things to share with you, which is actually lessons learned from other PMP exam candidates. There's an example over here. I got one full document of it. So I just share one of these first. I'm going to share a few more, okay, with you. Right. So this participant passed exam last year February. Schedule exam a month or less from the course so that you can be serious about preparing. I think some of you are into that kind of a mode now. Okay. You attended the class. I think quite a number of you that attended the class in April. Okay, and I know some even as like last week or yeah, I think last week, right? Last week or 2 weeks or last week. Okay. So anyway, so you are in the mode, so not so much of problem. Okay, but first key thing is that actually you build up the momentum. Okay, focus the test in the RMC. Basically, RMC means the course material they give you. Remember the Rita's book. Okay, RMC is a publication for the material I gave you, right? The Rita's book, the two sets of cards, the orange card, the white cards, and also the exam simulation software. And I don't know whether you use the other software, which is called Hot Topic, is helping you to understand about various concepts. We mainly use it to do revision. Okay, you got time. I think it can access in your mobile phone. I find it quite easy if I use it. The other day, I tried to look at it using mobile phone during the free time for Hot Topic. Okay, Jumpstart. Sorry, not Jumpstart. The Fast Track Exam Simulator is you try not to do it using your mobile phone. Okay, it's quite different user experience. Okay, you should use it in the computer. But for the hot topic, the revision flashcard, like, you can use your mobile phone to do it. Okay, so kind of concept in one, and then you tap, and then it show you the answer. Right, it's a quick way to kind of like remember certain concept, get on the go. Right, and remember to take one or two full length mock exam. Remember the mock exam is close to 4 hours, right? 230 minutes, okay, 180 question altogether. And first section on 150 minutes, second 75 minutes. I managed to finish extra 5 minutes to check on the result. But when you try to do this mock exam, you do your calculation, okay? So remember, there are three so-called, there are two breaks, okay? In this 3 hour 50 minutes, right? 230 minutes. There are actually two breaks. That means there are three parts of the exam. So when you hit 60 question, the system will break, and then you review and you submit. Okay, so there's the first part. See 60, when you hit 60 questions, the system will stop. Okay, that means let you have time to review, and then there's a 10 minutes break after that, right? And if you spend too much time in the first 60 question, okay, it's going to be problematic, right? Recently, I think I came across there's a exam candidate who actually passed the exam. He took about 90 minutes to finish 60 question. And then later he found that he left only 90 minutes, left only 140 minutes. Left only like about 45, not much time basically is for the leftover section, but then he eventually able to finish the question. He's saying just in time, like a few seconds before it cut off. okay, to finish the exam. So time yourself, sorry, time yourself well on your the sections, okay. Now this is another, sorry, okay, this is another one on some of the um, resources on internet. I tend not to let you have read too much on other sources because it may confuse you further. But that's what um, this participant, he tried to look at other resources. If it help you, then it's fine, right? Okay, practice speed reading. This to me, I think is kind of quite important. Okay, took 10 to 15 seconds to read, understand the question. Actually, it's quite fast. Okay, highlighting the keywords and the 30 seconds. Okay, to read all the answer before you pick the answer. Okay, a strikeout answer that's wrong. So this will help you in the time management. Okay, now let me show you some other lessons learned very
Sorry,
quickly.
sir.
Yes,
Sir,
yeah, yeah.
uh, where can I do the mock exam? The full length
Oh,
mock exam?
Uh, sorry, who's that? Afiq kan? Zakwan.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Sorry, is this Zakwan asking this?
Yes.
Okay. I will, let me note down. I will WhatsApp to you later. Okay. But it
Okay.
is in the DO that you receive during the class that from exam admin.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So later I will show you. Okay. So that is actually the license that given to you. So
The
one
given
last.
license is for fast track, right?
Yeah, for fast track. Yeah, more exam
In
is
the
in the
fast,
fast track. More exam is in the
the mock
fast track.
exam is in the fast track. Okay.
Yes,
Okay, thank you,
yeah.
sir.
Okay. Let me just show. I try to show you the lessons learned. Just give me a while, but let me just show you this. Okay, so this is fast track, and then you when I suggest you to do the revision, you go to the focus exam, and the best is you go by the topic because our topic is aligned to what the chapter in a book. So you just read the chapter and then you do the question here. Okay, and this is what you can just explore this. Okay, and then remember to do that exam simulation. You see the exam simulation here, right? And this is the mock test. So read through this. Okay, when you start this exam simulation, it give you some kind of understanding about the format of the exam, and then you will start your exam simulation, right? You click this exam simulation and then you start. Okay. And then there's another mode, Super PMP. This is when you're able to score 72% on a mock test, then you can unlock Super PMP. Okay, but don't have to do that. Okay, mainly the Super PMP are the sets of more difficult question. Okay, more challenging question. Okay, but the target of having 75% is based on this mock exam, right? Start the exam simulation and then you just start here. Okay. So let me show you the one last thing on the lessons learned. And I will send this to you. The exam lessons and okay. I'll put this in the WhatsApp group. There's quite a lot here. I will not go through all, but I think you can just read up on your own. But let me just highlight a few. This one just incorporated a few of the comments from a participant just passed, I think as early as 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago, right? So they start from just take note of this timeline here. Okay, we start from this 2019 August. We have some like way more than 10 years ago, but I think maybe not so relevant now. Okay, so but this one you can just kind of read up. Okay, by yourself. Right, physically and mentally prepared exam. At that time, they got 200 question, but now we got 180 question. Okay, so at that time they got 4 hours, but now change, but very much still no big differences, what I would say. Okay, and it's all about putting up the PMI cap. Okay, so remember, PMP cap, the PMI thing from PMI, um, what is important. So the PMI-ism, okay, is important to understand in your exam preparation. Okay, so these are the question the encounter is what do you do now? Variety of document to be updated, resource management, the tools, procurement. I'm going to talk about procurement. Was it like next? Is it next week? Okay, the types of contract, integrated chain control, earn value. At that time they got some calculation question, but now actually lesser. Okay. Um, Let me just go through a few. Advice to others. So whenever you get stuck, right? If it's in planning, identify where is it in the retest. Uh, Remember the cut I asked you to do. Okay, so that's important. Okay. And he got a very good advice. If it doesn't go anywhere, pick the one that makes the most sense. Okay. That what you actually will do in real life. Yes. Okay. Sometimes it is, but remember to put on the PMI cap. What the PMI expect us to do. Okay. And this one also memorize, actually not really memorize, but really quite understand, okay, the process chart in the grouping of the activity by the different process group and also the planning sequence. And yeah, so this one take 1 month to study book and you actually do, at the time you read the pin book, but now we don't have to do that anymore. Okay, just read the Rita's book should be good enough. And then you do around 1,000 question, and that's quite a lot. Okay. And also the earned value management EVM, okay, 90% on the situational question, meaning that what's the best thing to do, what's the first thing you need to do, right? This one is too much. I think I let you figure out. This one is yeah, like I say, they do the retest process every 1-2 days. Actually, you should do it every day, right? Remember to do this planning in certain order, right? Try to go through the MCQ. This one you do fast track. Don't need to do the question. Okay. In the past, we do have the question in the book, but now put onto the system is much easier. Okay, right. So use the system. Use fast track to do the exam. And basically how you use it. Remember the score minimum of 75%. Okay, that's what I advise you to do. And what this person mainly is actually dealing with this. Okay, quality, so on. Okay, so read through the answer explanation. Yeah, that's important. Yeah, okay, so this one, remember to bring your passport. Okay, like going overseas. Then you deny entrance because there's a candidate deny entrance because only bring IC. Okay. Oh, okay, we cannot use credit card to verify signature, so use a passport. Now, I know that some of the test center in KL, they do accept driving license. Okay, I checked with them, but again, not all of them. Okay, if you're in doubt of any one of these, please let me know. Okay, so bring passport, bring actually this is during the COVID time. Okay, 2020. Right, so wear mask. All right, so this one, no identity question to those in fast track. Remember I say that we cannot have a same. Basically, it's just like the level of question is about the same. Okay, but it cannot be like word for word, or maybe it cannot be like exactly like the same. Okay, of course it is not. Okay, repeat the question, but most of the time we're able to see some, some kind of the level of difficulty is quite the same. I will not go through all. I think you can just look at this on your own by yourself. Um, like I say, this one, right? The time management, okay, how you manage the time, actually exceeded, part one exceeded the time. 90 question took me 110 minutes. Now, in the past, in this 2020, they got only one break. So when you hit 90 question, there's a break, and then you continue with the rest of the question. Okay, but now they got they got two breaks. When it hits 60 question, there's a break. Then go to another 60 question, there's a break, and then the remaining 60 question go all the way. Okay, so do take note of the timing, right? So this person, he said that he got to skip the break and did not manage to review, okay, and just skim through, okay, right? So panic a bit at the end of part one. So manage your time very well, okay? That's what important. So are the exam question more difficult than fast track? He said much more difficult. When he did fast track, he about confident, but then when you look at the exam question, he say it's more difficult. So that actually is quite subjective, okay, because most of the time, what we see is that they are quite similar, okay. Let me show you the most recent one, then we will stop. 2025. Okay, this one 25. Um, okay, this one is this candidate is showing me the book. Okay, it's very colorful. Just look at the sticky note. Okay, mark all the key topics with sticky note to ease searching. Right. So this is okay. Then this one from July 25. Okay, yeah, not okay. At that time, not encounter any calculation. Just one that make wasting a few minutes since they show only input. Okay, there's only mainly is something that dealing with the CPI now. Okay, more than one is good, less than one is bad. So you will try to remember all these things. Okay, 2026. That's the one I want to show you. Recently, and around 3 4 hours. Okay, so really put in effort. This it takes about 3 weeks. After the class. In fact, this one about three. If I remember correctly, it should be slightly 3 weeks or 2 week plus after the class. Take the exam and pass the exam. Okay, that's really impressive. Okay, right. Um, so not to worry if I did not understand fully everything at the stage. Aim is to just be aware of the topic and get to a rough understanding. Okay, so remember that. Okay, you go through few rounds. Don't have to be understand everything. Complete 4 round or full mock test. Okay. And then after every mock test, look at the weak area. Okay, and then you follow up with a test of a 20 at the specific topics. In the PMI, they got some kind of a store that to let you do question, but I think don't have to overdo the question, right? If you need to buy additional, you got to pay your own. Right? Um, Let me see. Okay, the few calculation question, the CPI, SPI, and then how to calculate velocity and like how many tasks or story point complete within a set period. I think this one I covered in the class, and this is quite surprised. I don't really like seen this for very many years. But estimating, calculating using this, this is actually you want to search, right? This is called a PERT estimate. Actually, I covered in the class. PERT estimate. Okay, is a 3 point estimation method. Okay, you search for this PERT estimate, PERT. Okay, remember this is what you call a weighted average. Okay, a weighted average. Don't just memorize, but read once and okay, this person is actually using AI. Oh no, I think sorry, I just remembered. This person actually attended a class, I think a few months ago. Okay, and then but then he only recently just put up speed to study for the exam. Okay, but there's another candidate who just passed recently, but he haven't shared with me some of the lessons learned. Okay. So anyway, what he used, I would recommend you to do it, is that using the chat GPT, he argue back and forth that pick why they pick the choice, the answer, and the justification, and maybe kind of like talk to the AI to having understand about why there's answer, and then let AI lead you in that direction. I'm not too sure. I think it's a good way to kind of like exercising the mind a little bit. Okay, but not too sure whether AI always do the right analysis or not. Okay, you got problem anything analyzing, please let me know. So this one last thing I want to just share with you here. Okay, did you find the actual exam question more difficult? This is what I asked him. Okay, he said the difficulty is about the same. Okay, but then this person said the retest question are a bit too long, okay, long-winded. Okay, so but the exam in the actual exam, you try to double check and second guess every choice. Okay, so after the first break, that's the one. After first break, only left 140 minutes. So just in time that able to finish. So again, right now time well in this. Right? So that's all I want to share with all of you here. And there's one last thing I will send you just hold on. I want to send you um all of you a document that prepared by uh study group. Oh, okay, the prepared by our course participant who just passed the exam, and I asked him, can we share this? He said, yes, feel free to go through. So this is actually a summary because I want to show you because of I want to make a disclaimer also. Okay, let me just this one last thing. Um, okay, it might be your colleague, Raid Shamil, who just passed the exam, and he has actually used the AI to help to in his revision, okay, in a way. And then it was actually I created this short document. Yeah, Raid Shamil. Yeah, feel free to connect him on LinkedIn. Okay, so he kind of like putting up some notes on various topics and using, of course, using the AI to help to compile this information. But I think it's quite. I quickly go through. It's quite clean and also quite easy to understand. Like you know that I like charts. I like drawing quite a lot, so it help you on this. So I did this. The disclaimer is that I'm not 100% gone through whether these are the correct, like 100% correct, no mistake or not. Okay, but anyway, it will probably help you get to understand some of this concept well. So this is a document I'm going to share with you in the WhatsApp group. Okay, shortly after this, right? So there are 19 pages altogether. So just bear in mind, it is not from me, but it's from our trainee, Rai Shamil, and also I've not gone through like to confirm 100% accuracy on this. Okay, but as a good guide for you. Okay, you can just use it as a when you receive this, and then also you try to verify, okay, if there's any mistake or not. Okay, but at least it help you to kind of getting certain information in mind, okay, with some kind of picture format. All right, so this is what I want to share with all of you, and that is the first of our revision session in June. And any question you can, any question before we stop? Okay, let me stop the recording now. Okay, stop.